Welcome back to Asian Voices. You are about to meet an inspirational Korean American community leader who has shifted her career from being a media personality to serving in public office as a state assemblywoman in order to create a positive difference in her community. I had the honor to talk with California State Assemblywoman Young Kim, who represents the 65th District in Orange County, and found out why she is so passionate about serving her constituents and her personal experience being the first Korean American woman to serve in that office. Women are at the forefront of this year's many critical and most watched political races, getting their voices heard now more than ever. Joining me today is one of those women, Assemblywoman Young Kim. She's the first Republican Korean American woman ever to serve in the California State Legislature. So first of all, what an accomplishment, and it's such a great pleasure and honor to have you on Asian Voices.
Thank you, Cathlyn. It's so good to see you, and thank you very much for having me.
I'd like to know, what is your job as an Assemblywoman?
You know, I look at my job as a member of the Assembly in two ways. First is to serve, or let's say, to represent the constituents of the district who elected me to represent them here in Sacramento, to support legislation that will help their lives a little bit better, and oppose legislation that will make their lives harder. So in that role, I focus primarily on helping and working with parents and students in our educational system. And also as the Vice Chair of the Jobs and Economic Development Committee, I focus on policies that will help businesses to create more jobs here in California. And second part of my job I look at is to serve the constituents of my district. And in that regard, I help them through the state's bureaucracy. You know, if they have questions, if there are constituent casework, our office and myself will guide them through the bureaucratic process, cutting red tape so we can get their caseworks handled in an efficient manner. We're not problem solvers, but we can at least guide them through the process so they don't have to deal with so much headache. By the time they come to our office for help, they probably exhausted all avenues and all means to be helped. So our job is to make their lives a little bit better by serving them in that sense. And then the last thing is, of course, you know, I stood with them. In my district in the city of Anaheim, there is a elementary school that has been failing consistently for over a decade. So I work with them using the current legislation that is in place to change failing local schools into charter schools. In addition, my goal of serving the community and my district spans all different areas, but more importantly, I've raised hundreds and thousands of funds, actual funds, to provide school supplies through my Stuff the Bus project, and also you know, raising a lot of money as well as donation goods to provide Christmas gifts for those students who may never have the opportunity to receive one Christmas gift, because my district has a lot of low-income, underprivileged communities.
In a way, it's very interesting that you once interviewed me on your television talk show, The Real Talks, and now it's the other way around. So tell me, what inspired you to shift your career path from being a media personality to a politician?
You know, you may know that I've worked for a member of Congress for over 2 decades. But while that experience did inspire me a little bit, I think the sense of public service, providing or giving back to the community, has actually spanned from my days when I was young. When I first immigrated to the United States, when my parents brought me here, I was a young girl growing up in Guam. And oftentimes, because we live so near the water, the beaches, my mom would often take me to the beach and ask me to collect cans and bottles. At the time, I thought it was just a way of environmental cleanup. I just did what my mom asked me to do. But later I found that she would use those cans and bottles that she collected and recycle them. And she would donate the recycled funds back to church where we attended. That kind of the community giving back to the community that we lived in, was the kind of sense of giving back that my mother instilled in me when I was still a young child. And so that carried on throughout my adult life. And I had an unparalleled opportunity to later on, after I graduated from college, to work for a member in public office. And eventually, this was, now that I'm serving in the State Assembly, it's just a natural progression for my desire to continue to give back to the community and serve the public. The fact that I'm serving the community, serving my constituents, trying to make a difference in my own ways, it more than is satisfying.
So why do you think then it is important for more Asian Americans to be politically active?
There are not too many of us actively working in the elected public office. When people see someone like me, an Asian American serving in public office, they identify with me. And they feel a sense of pride knowing that there is an Asian American that represents their community and their voice. If I can be in that role, serving as a role model and serve as a catalyst to encourage our Asian American community to be more involved, because if we don't get involved, if we don't raise our voices, if we don't have someone representing us, our voice, our community, someone else will make that decision for us. So I think it's really important that the more of us, someone that looks like me, to serve in the elected office so that we can collectively represent our community well.
Well, it's been a great pleasure learning about your inspiring stories. And I only wish you all the best of luck and success in your upcoming election and for all your future endeavors.
Thank you. So great to see you again.
To see you. So if you would like to learn more about Assemblywoman Young Kim, you can visit ykassembly.com or follow her on Facebook. This is Cathlyn Choi with Asian Voices. Thanks for watching.